Welcome back to SFC Live now. And last time we were down here, Danny, we were anticipating a game which we thought would be quite close between Sunderland and Sheffield Wednesday. But in the end, Sunderland looked brilliant this afternoon, didn't they, in their first home game of the season?
They did indeed, yeah. I thought first couple of minutes, I thought Masaba got in down this left-hand side and it was quite an open game. And I thought, they fancy it, they're going to be at it, especially after their result last week against Plymouth. But we sort of settled into the game well. And I thought it was the key areas, midfield battle. Couldn't let Bannon settle at all. Job, Chrissy Rigg, Dan Neal in behind them, excellent, picking up a lot of second ball. And as I said it there, it's a bit of a saying in football where you earn the right to play. And I thought we'd done that this afternoon. And then we got the lads, Jack Clark, top end of the pitch, Patrick involved in the game. And there was only going to be one winner once we got that first goal. Ran all over Sheffield Wednesday, to be honest, and they looked leggy. We looked full of energy. Fantastic performance.
Another goal, of course, from the set piece, which got us going, of course, the Dennis Sirkin header coming from a Patrick Roberts cross as well. Yeah. Those two have had a great start of the season in particular, haven't they?
Yeah, similar to last week, wasn't it? Say Patrick, lovely ball, just bent in behind the back line, away from the keeper, the outswinger, and then Dennis gets himself free at the far post again. Doesn't have to nod it back for Luke this week, just gets a good contact on it, punches it underneath the goalkeeper, and that got us on our way. From their point of view, they'll be disappointed with the setup. I said it on comms, I just didn't like the setup. They looked all wrong. They were overloaded to the other side of the goal, and it was just asking for a little ball from Patrick, just clipped over the top. And then Dennis was 5 yards free or so, wasn't he? Lovely header, and that set the tone for the afternoon.
Let's look through the highlights then of the game if we can, and of course then we'll come to your thoughts. Get them in as well while you can. Use the hashtag AskDanny if you want to have your say on the programme. But we're going to run through the highlights, if we may.
Yeah, this is what I was saying early on. You see, I thought this was going to be an interesting battle all afternoon, but it wasn't the case early on. He got the better of Trey there. Masaba went past him. He's sharp, but then we didn't see too much off him. Frustrating afternoon for him, really, wasn't it? And then we're getting there, like as I said there, Patrick and Jack. When you're getting those two involved in the game, it was a tough afternoon for Maxlow, the left back as well, up against Patrick, who went both ways really, inside him, outside him. He had a couple of efforts himself looking for that far corner, Patrick. So he looks up to what we expect from Patrick, sharp, doesn't he, from what we know he's all about. And here's that goal now, yeah. So Patrick, lovely little ball over the top.
And that looks like it's straight off the training
field.
Free
Dennis is, yeah. I can't believe, looking at them and a former defender in the setup there. If I'm looking at that, I'm in that wall or I'm on the back line, I'm saying, boys, we're overloaded at the far post area. Somebody's got to get out there.
Windass is the closest when the ball goes in.
Yeah, and he's
chasing
a striker,
it as well.
really, isn't he?
Yeah.
Windass, he's a 10. He doesn't want to be back there, and we'll see that with the second goal, really, where he's obviously a little bit deeper in there, isn't he? When Luke O'Nien gets on the end of one. But listen, from our point of view, we'll take it all day. And that man there, he's a threat when he gets forward. Got one in pre-season, was it up at Bradford?
Yes.
Got himself in the box there, glanced one in, and he's capable, Dennis, of getting on the end of things. But it's just these situations you see time and time again. We're onto loose balls. You see how it's dropping about, and it was always a red and white striped shirt who was picking up the loose ball all afternoon, really. And some of the football we played was fantastic. We're unlucky there with, is it Trey there getting forward, link up play down the right, just too much on it for Mayenda. And there's his goal now. Again, it goes into Windass there, and he's got to get hold of that. He's trying to flick it round the corner. And then it just bounces. I say there's always troubles then. The centre halves are split. And look, keep your eye on me and look at the space he's got there. Receives it, touch out of his feet, bang. You see Jack there coming up on the outside of him there, screaming for it. But that's what you want to see from your striker. You want to see a confident striker there, taking it out of his feet, and it's a good, firm side foot finish. No chance for the keeper. And we're 2-0 up at this point, and then you're thinking, like the lads, the tails are up, full of confidence. We've pressed them really well. They're giving the ball away. They can't get back into the game here. And it's all about Sunderland at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Mayenda there scoring for Sunderland down in front of the Roker end there, his first one as well. You could see it meant so much to him, but it means a lot to the football club as well, because to have a striker which is already on the books scoring goals.
Yep.
I'm not saying we've solved the problem there, but it certainly goes a long way to helping the situation, doesn't it?
Well, massively, yeah, because obviously it's all the chat really, isn't it? And the window's obviously still open as well. Where do we need to strengthen? It's obviously, centre forward. It's not a secret, is it? When we're looking, and he's been given the opportunity. He's had it in pre-season. I thought in a couple of the pre-season games he was a handful. He's obviously got a lot to learn, but he's still a young lad. He's still only 19, isn't he? And is that third one now as we look at it. But yeah, Mayenda, in generally play, up against two big centre-backs today, it was tough for him, but he'll be full of confidence now in the change rooms. Lads will be getting around him there. Couple of goals. I think he was the top scorer last in terms of centre forwards. Was it Rusin with 2 last year?
Probably.
Well, he's already level with that, isn't he now? in the second game of the season. And then there's Luke's one there, what we're on about. Luke's got himself a couple of goals already as well from another sort of set piece, really, isn't it? Yes, it's sort of second phase, really. We took it short to Jack, worked it into, I think it was Chris Rigg, wasn't it, who got the shots away there. And then it's Windass that's caught a little bit deeper. Obviously, you could see the Sheffield Wednesday bench weren't happy. They thought he was offside, but obviously he wasn't. And then a few minutes later, another good call from the linesman, where they've strayed offside with that one there. So 2 good calls from the linesman. Let's give the officials credit, because we're always too quick to jump on their backs when they get things wrong. But yeah, and then there's Patrick there. As I say, difficult for Maxlow all afternoon. Patrick was going inside him, he was going outside him. He wasn't sure where to go, twisting and turning him up. And he's looking for the far corner there. And he's unlucky, isn't he, Patrick, with that one? We've seen him do that before. I think it was Watford, wasn't it, a couple of seasons back?
Yeah, it's great watching back some of these moments. Chris Rigg, great save there from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, that would have capped his afternoon off as well. I say I give Chris man of the match. There could have been several others who picked up the award there, but good strike, isn't it? Great save from the keeper. Iorfa in front of him, sort of blinded a bit really, and he's got a good strong right arm onto that one.
And then as soon as everyone came back out, well, people were still finding their seats, weren't they?
Yeah, a few
go and get the fourth.
Yeah, they did indeed. Say we were up there on the gantry, and there's a few streaming out still from there for half-time refreshments who've missed that goal. But yeah, again, and that's what'll disappoint us. Say Danny Roll and the Sheffield Wednesday staff, just how easy it was for us. Loose balls bouncing around. Chrissy Rigg takes it, feeds a lovely ball into. It's almost the assist for the assist, isn't it? Where he plays it into Jack down the line. Jack just squares it across for him. Keeper can't get there. And you look at him there, he's enjoyed his afternoon. May end it. A side foot finish from a couple of yards, he can't miss.
It's quite a good ball actually from Jack Clark. It's not as easy as it looks either, is it?
Yeah, because he's playing with his left, it's coming away from the keeper as well, isn't it? He thinks he can get there, the goalie, but it's always going away from him, can't get there. And May end is there. And it's, a minute just after the break, then we said at half time, where Danny Roll's getting into his team, he makes a change at half time as well, he brings Smith on. Can they go and get the goal straight after half time? Well, unfortunately, from their point of view, it's us that gets the fourth, and that's the game done then, isn't it? And then it was a case of me, and I said it there, if we're being a little bit greedy, could we have gone on with so much time left in it, go and get the fifth, go and get the sixth, really show teams what we're all about, really. But sometimes you just play within yourself a little bit. They had a bit of possession, didn't do too much with it, didn't cause us too many problems, and it was fairly comfortable for the lads at the back, to be honest. And that one there, yeah, Masaba, as I say, we've seen him in the first minute, and then it was late on, wasn't it, where he just gets the better of, I think, Romain Mundell trying to help out at the back, and Michael Smith there blazes it well over the crossbar, and they had very little to go off second half, but the game was done by them, wasn't it? So fantastic from our point of view, in front of 39,000 Sunderland fans, maybe.
I think it was 40,022 or something, like that, to be exact.
Yeah, obviously they had a couple of thousand up there, weren't so many around at the end, obviously, but no, and that's what you want at the start of the season, where we finished last year, losing to Sheffield Wednesday 2-0. Well, we've turned that round, haven't we? First game of the season, this time round 4-0.
Of course, you can keep across Sunderland's social media channels if you want to hear the first reaction from the first team coach, Regis Lebris, which I'm sure everyone's waiting to hear his reaction to that game, and of course his first experience of the Stadium of Light as well. Let's have a look at what you've been saying then. I think we've got time for a quick thought on the hashtags. If we can get that up on screen. Red and White Haddock has been in touch. For me, that's the best we've played since Amad Diallo played for us. But my question to you is, can we play like that consistently this season, Danny?
Well, if we did, I think we'd be right up there come the end of the season after 46 games.
Next weekend's a good test, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Obviously everybody coming here today expected more from Sheffield Wednesday. That's not to take anything away from ourselves. We set our stall out early on and I had too much for them. But it's having that level of consistency, and we've seen it last season where we started well early in the season, got up to sort of early December, and then we fell away. But obviously we look like we're back on track. It's still early season, new head coach in place. There'll be a few more additions to come in, I'm sure, in the next week or two. But yeah, massive confidence. I've been in that position where you get back in the changing room there, everybody's getting around each other, high fives, everybody's laughing, joking, smiles on your faces. No midweek game now, and as you said, they're coming up against the Burnley side next week, who've scored 9 goals already, 4 past Luton last week, didn't they, and 5 against Cardiff yesterday. So it's going to be a tough one. They've got some top players, and I expect Burnley to be the side to beat this season. It's early days, but from what I've seen, certainly against Luton last week, they were sharp, they were at it. Under Scott Parker, new manager obviously coming in there as well. So it's going to be a toughie. but we can't gauge our season on the first 2-3 games. It's going to be a long haul, as we know, in the Championship, but it's a good base to work from.
We won't throw the league table up today. We'll look at that maybe in the next couple of games as well. But Sunderland are joint top at the moment. Let's have a look at the scores from the Championship this weekend. And just going through them there. Coventry City 3, Oxford United 2, Derby County 1, Middlesbrough 0, Pompey 0, Luton Town 0, West Bromwich Albion 0, Leeds United 0, Bristol City 4, Millwall 3, Burnley with their 5 goals against Cardiff there, Norwich and Blackburn drawing 2-2. There was a draw between Plymouth Argyle and Hull City. Sheffield United also drew 2-2 with Queen's Park Rangers. It was a 3-0 win for Swansea against Preston North End. Watford got 3 against Stoke, and Sunderland's 4 there at the bottom against Sheffield. A decent start to the season, I'm sure you will agree, and we'll be back here in this exact spot next weekend. Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff is against Burnley, and as Danny said, Scott Parker now in the dugout, but they've still got some great players, and they of course were in the Premiership last season, so a great test for Sunderland, all things considered. Please join us for that one. You can get your matchday streaming passes right now at sfc.com. Enjoy the rest of your weekend wherever you're watching around the world. We'll see you soon.